going on, y'all? About to check out this video from Legal Mindset, and it's detailing how Hassan's lawsuit might not go so well. Yeah, let's get into that. You know how I like roasting Hassan and seeing the technical details of stuff.
Hasan Piker is mad and threatening defamation after his comments promoting drone warfare. We're talking about today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a fast facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So in this case, we have Hassan versus Vicky Palladino. So obviously our plaintiff in this case, one Mr. Hasan Piker, who is big mad about having some clapback over his promotion of drone warfare, and he's particularly mad at one Vicky Palladino.
Hassan was wilding with that. It was damn near instructional. He was like, this is what you have to do. Get these things done, and you too could be like this terrorist that I call Luffy.
Palladino, for those that don't know her, she's a member of the New York City Council. So in this, Hasan Piker...
And I disagree with it, and I don't think it should have been allowed in any way, shape, or form. We're watching this video for educational purposes.
Made a statement promoting the use of drones in terrorist acts over traditional old school suicide bombing. And then Vicky Palladino responded by calling out promoting terrorist drone attacks, as well as Hassan's comments on 9/11 and hosting Houthi pirates. So to get into that real quick and show you the exact statements from Hasan Piker, let's listen in right here.
Again, that's a Shahed drone. Like, that's crazy.
Mind you, he's commenting on this like that's crazy, as in that's amazing. So I mean, just even on his tone, even on his intonation, it's clear he's promoting this and amazed by this, right? Rather than upset for the people that obviously were harmed and perhaps killed in that.
I was thinking about this with like the Afghanistan, the Taliban, Pakistan fight that was taking place.
So once again, he's thinking about areas in which in terrorist conflicts, like that's his concentration of his conversation here.
And I was really thinking about this. You really don't need suicide bombing anymore, you know, because like the Taliban guy was like, oh, you have nuclear arms, but we have like suicide bombers. Like, we'll just blow up your country with suicide bombers. And it's like, you really don't need that anymore in drone warfare, right? You don't need that at all. Just make fucking drones. Just, you can purchase them from, you know, you can purchase them in the online marketplace. Like, China literally sells like explosive ordnance delivery mechanisms that you can put to a DJI drone. They
literally, once again, promoting this right there. I wonder if he learned this on his recent trip to China, if this is something that was dropped into him while he was there, but explaining a very clear way in which people can go out there, his followers, anybody who's watching.
Yeah, that was nasty. Super nasty.
Yeah.
You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, yeah. You know your name.
Him, including, by the way, people he's had on his own show, like the Houthi pirate, right? That might be willing to do this or interested in doing this. So definitely giving a clear roadmap for someone who wants to follow that.
You can purchase like at virtually no significant cost in comparison to like, you know, sophisticated equipment that you need to put together. So I guess like you kind of at that point you're doing that for the love of the game, right? Like you're doing suicide bombing just for the love of the game, because like you want to keep it old school. Is that what it is? Why is bro saying that? I'm just saying it's like insane that I mean this is functionally what you could get away with if you facilitated like a somewhat difficult to pull off suicide bombing strike, right? And instead you're just using a Shahed drone that's like what, $10,000.
So once again, he's talking about the facilitation of terrorist strikes. He's talking about how to act those out. That's clear, right? The statements he made himself, right, in promoting, hey, we're going to go to promoting drone warfare now, guys. Hey, look, all my followers around the world, everybody who's listening, including those outside the United States, including those that might be engaging in terrorist activities, we're going to do drones now because that's cheaper, right? And clearly that's his promotional pitch. So let's look at what statement made him very mad. So you've got this statement here by Hassan the Hun, who says, be on the lookout for a defamation suit councilwoman after Councilwoman Vicky Palladino said Hasan Piker is telling his followers to make suicide drones. Hassan also said that America deserved 9/11 and has hosted Houthi terrorists. Hasan Piker is telling his followers to make suicide drones. Hassan also said that America deserved 9/11 and has hosted Houthi terrorists on his stream. Anyways, here are a couple of pictures of our mayor and current city councilman hanging out with him recently. So just pointing out that these people are associating with Hassan, and Hassan clearly has made these statements. And these are all things that did indeed happen. He did promote the building of suicide drones over traditional, old school, as he calls it, for the love of the game, right? Perceiving that as a game.
That's crazy. But only like people like Hassan could get away with this, right? If you're extreme woke, that's right. I'm bringing that back. I'm bringing it back. Because some people be woke as hell out here. If you're on that type of time, then like, yeah, they might give you cover. You could wild out here. It's pretty disgusting, bro. Pretty nasty. But anyone else, you would have been banned, twitched. They treat him like one of those e-girls in a hot tub.
And as a place where, thousands of people die every year. And then making those statements about 9/11, hosting the Houthi terrorists, those things that actually did indeed truthfully happen.
What has happened to, does he know what has happened to any of the crews? Like I heard they tried, wasn't it called CAT?
Hold on, you said, I'm all free speech, but I'm also for treason charges being used for these people. Yeah, I agree. Because this is crazy. This is disgusting, bro.
The chewing, the lead.
Yeah. He's saying they've all tried COT, including the captain of the ship that he went on. He's saying that the vibes are immaculate.
No way.
he's saying he wants us to visit.
Oh, dude, I would love to.
So he's
brother. What's wrong with you? You want to visit? Y'all treating it like it's really the Straw Hat ship. Y'all on this Jolly Roger. That's crazy. Yeah, Hasan Piker is a filthy person for that.
Threatening a defamation suit here. And let's get to some of the comments that he's made about this defamation suit.
On a line. If it wasn't an elected official, I wouldn't give a shit. Who gives a fuck what some like random dickhead on Twitter says? Yeah. Suing a content creator for being a bitch is very different than suing a flagrantly racist councilwoman in New York City.
So once again, there's a quick, I want to point out the divide here. He's trying to separate himself from other defamation lawsuits by saying, hey, look, it's not you being a bitch, right? It's they're racist and they're a politician. And therefore that makes them a better target for defamation. We'll get into that in a second.
Enjoy discovery and all your evils being legally revealed, Hassan. Okay. I don't know what these guys think like a defamation lawsuit is going to reveal. Do they legitimately think that I'm in contact with like the Taliban or like the Iranian government or something? Because if that was the case, that wouldn't come out in a legal suit. The FBI would be knocking on my door far before this came to, defamation territory.
Okay, we'll stop there. So the point is that Hassan, it says he's not worried about discovery, but I do indeed think Hassan should be afraid of discovery because Hassan has been very elusive and has always tried to hide his income level, what he's making on separate platforms. And once that information is out there, that may disillusion many people who may look at that level of earning, look at that level of income and say, wait a second, are you really one that's living up to all your ideals, etc., right? So that might hurt him to show that. He's always been very reticent to show his earnings, and he would indeed have all his earnings exposed. Whether or not those have links anywhere else doesn't really matter. I think in comparison to the fact that he's going to have all that information out there for everybody to pick through, right? And those links, if they do exist, would, even as Hassan says, be revealed over time by law enforcement. So Hassan's argument is that he argues that this is distinct from Ethan Klein's copyright case because it's an elected official. And according to Piker, she's racist. So racism, that makes it a better defamation case, right? Wrong. Defamation does not examine the occupation or even the biases of a person. You can have a person who's out there like Uncle Ruckus, and it really doesn't matter if what they're saying is true. If the statements that someone is making are true, it does not matter if there's bias behind them or you perceive that as racist or bigoted or whatever.
No, that's facts, right? No matter how emotional you are, you can't just try to like sue someone because they're being honest and telling the
Ever
truth.
else or sexist or anything like that. It really doesn't matter if the statements are objectively true, and truth is an absolute defense here. So given that self-statements are so notoriously difficult to claim as defamatory, and we can look at the case of Miskiff versus Asmongold, where Miskiff is kind of going to be learning that lesson in terms of his own statements and his own comments about himself and his problematic nature coming back to haunt him. In this case, these are all self-statements of Hassan. Hassan made these statements, went out there, promoted the Shahed drone, said it's only tens of thousands of dollars. It's only, $10,000 versus much, much more to do XYZ and facilitate these attacks. So if we want to facilitate terrorist attacks for cheaper, let's use drones. Those are his statements. Those are not other people's statements. Those are statements that he clearly made based on the clips that are available. And they're both public figures. So he's going to have to prove that she was maliciously wrong, not just something that was absent-mindedly or perhaps leaving out a little bit of context, but something that's maliciously false. And that brings me to the judgment. Hasan Piker clearly made a statement promoting drone warfare and terrorist attacks. There's no getting around that. That's pretty clear. And this is a person who does have those known associations with terrorists, as Vicky Palladino mentioned, the Luffy, the Houthi pirate guy who was brought on the
Stop connecting Luffy's name to this guy. Stop it.
Channel.
That's
that
crazy.
Guy and others that he's promoted as part of his channel that have those associations. So it's reasonable to believe that somebody with terrorist leanings or terrorist associations might be watching his streams, watching his live streams, and taking that to note and taking some sort of action on. Hassan's subjective opinion that someone is racist does not entitle him to any type of relief in any claim, much less defamation. And so overall, Hassan has almost no chance of victory here, given his self-statements and his past associations. But know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Shout out to Legal Mindset. Yeah, Hassan's a clown. He's going to look even worse if he tries to follow through with this. But tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Hit the hype button.